All right, guys. So, this is going to be. I'm going to push along. This video is going to be working on this one and pushing the values along, like I said. So, once again, the Conte, you got to think of the Conte as in terms of density. The denser it is on the paper, the darker it equates to, okay? The lighter it is on the paper, density wise, the lighter it feels, right? So I'm just going to go in here, and the best thing to do is to build this up just a little bit at a time, right? So you're in here. I know this is all a very gray cone, styrofoam, right? And what I'm doing in here is I'm just like every once in a while tap into the paper, right? So if I start down here, maybe as it happens, you'll see it as I move to the left, right? So now down in here, I'm going to tap the paper more frequently because it's in the shadow, right? And I might tap in different directions because that's not a uniform texture up there, is it? So you see how that's coming out? So all I'm doing is tapping, right? But I'm thinking about how dense it needs to be along the bottom, right? And then how it gets to the top, it filters out. There's less of them. So I'll just dance a little bit of like this in here. You see what happens in there? It's like I'm tapping and not just pressing down, but moving slightly side to side. All right, so there's the cone starting to happen. What'd that take? A few seconds, minute, right? Anyway, under here, the black fabric. Now that's going to be darker, so I got to think about density again, right? So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to just work this Conte back and forth in here, right? And I'm not going to get all crazy about it, right? I'm just going to build it up. Now, when I look at it, because of the way the light hits the paper, the fabric, I mean, that dark fabric, it's not a uniform dark all the way. It gets lighter in here. But I can do what's called a gradient, and I can move down in here. And as I get down in here, I apply less pressure as my hand is describing that value, right? So there we are in there. All right, so things are starting to happen in here, right? And we're only a few minutes, a couple minutes into it, right? So I know I got a black value up in here, and I'm going to go density again, here, to here in that shape. And I'm liking the shape. I think I've nailed that shape in there, right? So I'm going to go there, 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 and I'm not going to, I'm just going to apply a pressure to get there. I don't need to really cram it in there right away, right? I'm going to get there over a period of time, right? Now I'm going to go in there and do that. I might have to make this a little darker under here, right? There we go. And then now here is where that darker fabric was, right? But I don't want it to be all the same, so I'm going to bring it up again. I'm going to bring it up slow, right? I'm going to go in there and just get that overall. And I know that along here are frays, right? So I'm just going to go some frays in there. And I'm not going to try to get every single one exactly what it is. We're talking about a sensation. The fabric's frayed. Nobody needs to know if it was like 12 frays per square per length of inch, right? So I know it's in there, right? And so maybe what I'll do is I'll think about a gradient. I'll go in here and I'm going to just build it up a little bit at a time. I can redefine the side of this bottle, right, by going up in there. I can make it a little darker in here. And you know what? As it comes up, I'm going to leave it lighter. All right, so I get a difference between that plane and that plane in there. So you see, this is how it's happening. You go anywhere you want. I might leave this just white in there, right? And so in here, well, you go where you should be, where you feel like you need to work. That bottle in there is gray. Well, it's gray here on this side, right? And as it comes across, it's a gradient. And so as it comes across, I want it to get lighter. I just want to push this back, meaning that the dark is going back around the side. of that bottle. Right there. I'm a little bit lighter up in here. I'll drop in a light. Then I'll work this dark in here. In there. I'll get this in here. I'll drop some lines in here to say, yep, it's floating around in there. Well, meaning that that surface is turning. All right. Up in here, once again, I'm going back to like a little bit darker here. I notice that this shadow lines up here and here. There. Now it's all light inside, right? But it is got some mass up in here, some width. Right? So there I am. All right, that doesn't feel that bad. When I look at it, I can go, yeah, bottle, smaller bottle, cone, fabric, shadow, carving, right? That's all you do is you walk across it. When I'm looking at that bottle over in there, and what are we down to? 2 minutes. Okay, we're good. When I look at this bottle, I go like, you know what? It's shadow over in here. I'm going to go in here light. I'm going to go in here light. I might have to make that a little bit darker in there, right? And so maybe I do. I go in there. Not maybe. I am definitely doing it. And maybe I go towards the edge. Seems to be a little of the shadow. Seems to be a little darker. The edge of the shadow seems to be darker, so I'll pull it back in there. Now you get a little highlight in there. That's exciting. In here, I'll go up in here and I think about how I want to create volume in there, right? By giving some curved lines. I might even drop some of these in there, right? To help the reader understand that that object has volume down in here, or the viewer I meant, in here. And even here I can go like this. See how my hand dips into it? In there, and once again, little subtle touches. Now there it is. It's starting to happen, right? Now I go like, okay, yeah. I get an idea of value shifts in here. Over in here to here. And then everything I did over in here, I want to apply here. So we'll just do one because it's going to be, 50 seconds left. So we'll see what we can do. We'll go in here. This is in the shadow, so I want this to come out, and I know it's irregular. I want this to be pronounced that it's in the shadow back in there, right? And then, because I know this is carving, I'll just go in here like this, there, drop this in there, right? Maybe darken this up a little bit along here. And you see how that's popping there? There we go. Now we got a drawing right in here, okay? All right, guys, we'll see you in a little bit after this loads up. Bye.